Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to take apart and possibly fix your Keurig K-Duo Essentials, model number K25. So this is the cheaper one that you can typically get at Walmart. Keurig makes 3 different K-Duos. I've got videos on how to take both of those apart also, but this is the Essentials. So I've had a lot of viewers leave comments that the coffee maker side stops making coffee, or that they pressed 12 cups and only 2 or 4 cups brew. And same thing on the K-cup side. Sometimes the K-cup side stops brewing. So I'm going to show you how to take it apart. Let's see if there's anything inside here we can fix. First thing is make sure it's unplugged. We're going to leave it unplugged for the entire duration. So I have had a couple viewers say that this broke. I've always thought this was a weak point on the craft side. When you pull it out, there's how it goes. And I think some people have had some things break here. It is a very weak point. So that might help you see where it's at. There's the track that it slides in. There's a better view of the track. And there's the actual brew head that slides in. I don't see any kind of micro switch or anything. Okay, so on the bottom side, let's take out the Phillips screws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I got all the screws out. Let's start with this panel here. So I was able to just kind of pry those up a little bit, and it looks like this panel is going to slide down towards me. Yeah, it looks like it slides down. Okay, looks like this piece came off. Okay, so this panel, it's got a piece right here that's underneath this piece. So you can't take this piece off without taking this off first. My piece broke. So it looks like they got these little things. Looks like they make it somewhat convenient to take that off. Okay, so now this piece, it looks like it might disconnect here, but it's got to slide down. So this whole back piece right here, there's some things we got to disengage. It looks like you got to slide it down. Yeah. So if you kind of just pry here, so that it pushes this panel down, there's these ears that you won't break if you can slide it down, and then this panel comes off. Okay, so let's take a look at the bottom. Here we've got the heating element for the warming plate only. So this only does the warming plate. Looks like it has a thermostat on it. It's not resettable. There's nothing you can press on it or anything. So if that thermostat opens up, the heating plate's not going to work. Okay, so now let's go around the back. It looks like here's the water pump. So yeah, the water comes in. Looks like it's going to go out. Here we've got a control board. So far I don't see anything we can reset. Now if you did have a hose that came off, you could reset it or put it back on and with a zip tie. This is an air pump. Looks like there's our water tank. Okay, so there are 2 screws. There's one, you got to pry these little things off, these little caps. Then there's a Phillips screw underneath there. Okay, so well, I don't know if you can or not, but this panel will come off. It was a lot of work. I think I broke a few pins. I'm not sure what it's going to gain us, but at least we can take a look. That's after I took those 2 screws that were hidden off. You got to just kind of pry it off all the way around, and it does come off. Okay, so it does gain us access to where the water goes in. Here's your low water light sensor. And what's very important is, so the low water light sensor, so as the water in the tank goes up and down, so does the water inside this tube. So this is a vent. So you got to make sure right up here, make sure this is just vented to the outside. I'm pretty sure it'll be hard to see with that cover on there, if you can see it at all actually. But that has to be open to the atmosphere so that the water can go up and down in this tube. So as your reservoir goes down, water will go below these 2 sensors here, and then your low water light should come on. But if that tube is blocked, water won't go up and down in it. Because the other end of this tube, so here's where the water goes into the Keurig. This goes to the water pump. This one goes to the water sensor, this right here. So water will go two places. It goes to the pump, and it goes in this tube right here to fill that tube up and down so the low water light will come on. So this does have a pretty big tank that holds the water. So here I've got a tank out of a K Mini. It looks like it's about the same thing. You've got this really hard plastic at the top and you've got metal on the bottom. That's where the heating element is. So when you descale these Keurigs, this is where the vinegars, you want to let it sit and rest and kind of break up the hard water deposits, because they're really going to start clinging to this heating element, and it won't let the coffee maker heat the water efficiently, and your coffee maker will get really loud and your coffee won't taste as good. So on the left-hand side, we can see here's that great big, it is a big tank. And the water pump pushes the water in the bottom of the tank, and the wires, there's two wires for the heating element that heat the water. See how there's the heating element and the wires come in the bottom. So I do see a thermostat, but it's like an inline thermostat. I've taken these apart before. It looks just like a glass resistor. And they're not resettable. So if that thermostat opens up that's going alongside the tank, because it overheated, you can't reset it. Again, there's the control board. I don't see anything. You know, it'd be nice if there was a reset button or something. I don't see any fuses that are easily changed. But there are a lot of water hoses. And so if one of these popped off, you could put it on very easily, then I would put a zip tie around it to hold it, because there's water hoses kind of snaking all over the place. And so with the K-Duos, you've got this component here. This component, so when the water gets heated up, and you only have one water pump. So the water pump kicks on, it's either going to divert the hot water to the K-cup, or it's going to divert it out this pipe. And when it goes, this goes to the carafe. There's your brew head for the carafe. So this either will let the water go there or there, depending on what you've selected up there. But the common complaint is it doesn't run the appropriate amount. They select 10 cups and it only brews 2 cups or something. So on the K-cup side, I mean, it could be the needle's clogged. I do have a separate video on how to clean that needle. That needle could be clogged, so don't forget about that. Cleaning that with a... Okay, so this just came off. I didn't realize this was off. So when I took that other piece off, there must not have been anything holding this. So now we can see there's the top needle. So if that was somehow clogged, you can see why sticking a paper clip in only gets you so far. And then it makes a hard right turn. And there's the tube. Looks like there is a micro switch. There's the micro switch when you've got this all the way down. That micro switch tells the Keurig that the handle is all the way down and it's okay to brew a K-cup. So here we have the air pump. So if you ever notice after you do a K-cup, it does throw a bunch of air into the line to kind of clean out the line and clean out the top of the water tank. And now it doesn't clean out the entire water tank, but it does help clean out the lines. So getting to this area was relatively easy. And this bottom thermostat, you know, at least you could change it if you had to. Take those 2 screws out. So getting to this area was relatively easy. But getting to this top area was a little tricky. Again, and there's that control panel. I had to disconnect. This just pulls off. That's just the wires that connect it. But getting this off was kind of pretty tricky, actually. So I hope this video helps. Leave them in the comments down below if you find something that fixed your Keurig. Again, this would help fix the low water sensor if it's not working, or if you had a tube that came off. Fixing one of these tubes that's leaking water. Thanks everybody for your support. I'm taking a lot of Keurigs apart. I'm buying them used off the internet or through Facebook Marketplace if they're broke. And then I take them apart and see what actually is broke on them and seeing if I can fix them. So I should be getting a video out of every current model Keurig that they make, taking them apart. Thanks everybody for watching.